Oh, hey, it worked that time.
Now we're live.
I,
Well,
I
I'm
pushed
glad
the
it didn't
live
work
button.
earlier when we were talking crap about Frank. I mean,
I
hey,
know.
people, right? How are yous? What's up?
Frank, the latest blue wrench in the chat, Frank. Just to be sure that we're not talking about Frank, the destroyer of laptops, Frank.
No, we're not giving that Frank a wrench. Holy crap, no, no.
No, he's done enough damage already. So right out of the gate, Mike WZ9Z is a new member. Thank you very much, Mike. Much appreciated.
Woo!
Play that funky music, Jim.
Wake up, people.
If you weren't awake before, you're awake now. So we have a
Right.
couple of things that are going on. Jim just got a continuing update in the Jim's getting screwed by the VX2 saga. The radio you got didn't come with all of the accessories that needs to be
Right.
came with.
This
This is a
little baby
Yaesu VX2.
it came with this. And the Cletus that I bought it from, Beavis, take your pick, Knucklehead, said, oh, everybody usually has a charger for this. Why would I? Whatever. You can't fix
Why would you have a
stupid, right?
charger
It's
for a
felony.
25-year-old radio?
Right, because I totally keep that crap laying around and I wanted to buy another one. So Steve said, well, I think that's the same as the FT5D. And I went,
I would hope.
that may be because they look pretty similar. And y'all cannot appreciate this on camera because of the green screen and it's not lit well enough. But it's a barrel connector in there and it's a wee little one. And while the 5D looks to my eyeball exactly the same, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I got on eBay or Amazon. I think I got on Amazon. I don't know. And I ordered a charger and 2 batteries. Thankfully, the batteries are correct. They work. And I've already tested one. And it came with a cigarette lighter plug or a power port for you Gen Z people who don't know what cigarette lighter plugs
What cigarettes are, yeah.
Right.
All vapors.
And that looks like the exact same plug as the FT5D. But it doesn't fit the VX2 and it doesn't fit the 5D.
Jeez.
I don't know. Whatever, but I can charge batteries. So,
but your desktop charger thingy that you got works, right?
yeah, and it plugs in AC or you can use a USB cable to charge the battery off of it. And I do have to share this with you guys. Yesterday, because I really, really wanted to play with this radio, I might have soldered on a couple wires and hooked this to the benchtop power supply and charged it that way. There was a chance that I might have smoked something, but I didn't. It worked. Of course, I don't really know how fully charged it was. I just kept watching it and making sure no smoke was coming out of it.
Right.
So I don't know if.
Well, that's what you do. You can charge them with desktop power supplies. They apparently just stop on their own magically.
I guess. Yeah, I was afraid. I didn't know if it would. It doesn't have a BMS, right? Like a LiFePO. This is lithium ion, which is deadly to airplanes, I think.
Spicy pillows.
Yeah. So I have no idea what the hell charger this is. Supposedly, this package was to charge this and about 46 other things, and the cigarette lighter plug don't work. But the battery charger and the batteries are.
It powers up now. It powers up now.
Yeah. Bob's your uncle.
Oh, look at that. Nice. Sweet.
I haven't got it programmed yet. And I need to read the manual and figure this out, but it supposedly does wires. It specifically says that in the manual. And I'm like, what?
Interesting.
And I've got it on my
if you add the
frequency,
SCU LAN 10 or...
But it doesn't key up. It doesn't key up my hotspot.
No exchange.
WT1W testing 1, 2, 3 toads.
Just in case there's somebody on 433 megahertz in your neighborhood.
Well, no, I'm on the hotspot frequency.
Right.
But right. Anyway.
Yeah.
The saga continues.
Jody's catching up at 1.5 or 1.75. Jody, those are rookie numbers. 2x or get out.
Go to the hole strong or stay home.
Yeah. And then we got David with his membership milestone chat. Member for 5 months. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
I was just laughing. I was just watching. Like, you'll push the button. I'll just wait. You'll do it. It'll be fine.
I did it. I did it.
So we are continuing where we left off last week on the LR1302. This is the LoRaWAN gateway, and I got a whole box of goodies along with it that we went through: temperature sensors and moisture sensors and GPS antennas and all kinds of other useful gadgetry. So we're going to continue down that path a little bit today. One of the things that I did right away before we got started here was I ran the updates on the Raspberry Pi. I didn't need to run them for this job. As far as I can tell, we've got mail cap, desktop file utils, high color icon theme, no menus. I see nothing related to this. Maybe PiWiz. I don't even know what PiWiz is yet, but we're going to play with that a little bit later. I did. And Wayfire. But this is Nala. If you haven't seen Nala before, this is what Nala looks like when it does its updates. It's like colorful, and it tells you what it's going to upgrade. And instead of just showing you the numbers in plain boring text, it actually puts in color the different part, which is pretty slick. And then everything's all, like it's the year 2024. I mean, I realize it's still terminal mode, but terminal's awesome, still in 2024. And then, what is it? This is what it looked like before Nala. This is apt, which still looks better than apt-get, don't get me wrong. And apt-get looks a lot better than dpackage. So
Dpackage is just sad and old. If I get on a computer that doesn't have apt, I don't really know what to do sometimes.
Yeah, this was me installing Nala. And then Nala's done, and then I did Nala upgrade to upgrade all the things, and it's all pretty like. So I was pretty impressed with that. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys real quick. Let me remove that one and share out the Raspberry Pi desktop instead. And this one here is complaining about low voltage because I'm running it off of a powered USB hub instead of running it off of a wall wart. If that becomes a problem, we'll shut down and reboot and do that thing. But I think it could be a problem because we're running a Pi hat that is a radio transmitter. But for now, we'll do this part here for now. So last week y'all said to get the Arduino IDE installed. And it's loading up now.
I know, I'm entertaining everyone with the comments. Okay, Jody and his 2X down to real time. Are you back in the real now, Jody? Let's see. Ham till it hurts. I did not know this. I didn't buy this radio to do digital. I didn't think it even did any of it. Apparently the old wires is a different thing.
Yes. So we did this additional boards manager URLs thing that Jim shared in the last video. And then I'm trying to find where the boards manager is.
Get board info? I thought it was right there.
Well, that's get board info, but I haven't connected to the board yet.
Oh, this is going to be an awkward show if he's frozen all night. Okay. Well, short of putting, okay, he's back.
Yeah.
That was an awkward pause. That was very awkward. Steve and I did a Zoom call earlier today. We're working on the new Coffee and Ham Radio's website store. Not a website like, Yahoo or nothing. And we did a Zoom call, and he was on his Starlink then. And I want to tell you, the Zoom call, gangbusters, worked perfectly, no freezing. So who knows?
Yeah, it was fine right until the show started, and then it, as usual, nothing survives first contact with the live stream. But so you'll see that we've got version 2.6.0 installed, which is the one that Jim said was the right one to use based on the instructions. And there is many new versions up to 3.7.2 since then, like pages of versions above. So we'll get as far as we can get with 2.6.0, and then if we have to upgrade, we'll upgrade, and if we don't, then we'll be happy at 2.6.0. I'm sure it's supported by the newer version, but got to start somewhere. So, Jim, if you can find that website, we'll pick up where we left off.
I have no idea. What the heck was that? Who makes those things, Steve? That's where I got the link from.
Elecrow.
That's
This is
it.
the Elecrow LR 1302 LoRaWAN gateway. And this is basically going to convert Raspberry Pi type stuff into radio signals so that you can communicate with all of your LoRaWAN devices. And Jeff is asking if the barrel connector is 1.35 millimeter. Jeff, we don't know. We weren't able to find anything. It's not in the Yaesu owner's manual. So who knows?
Yeah, Jeff and I have been chatting a bit back and forth a second ago. He's got a connector that's too small for the 5D that may be the one I need. And this thing will charge off of USB anywhere between 3.5 and 7 volts. I just need to find the right connector.
So the owner's manual, don't quote me on this, I think the owner's manual says 12 to 16 volts for charging. So that's got a very long range of charging.
Let's see. Chris Bricker said click at the bottom right corner on the Arduino Uno. Maybe.
And do what with that?
I don't know. Click it.
Yeah, I'm clicking. He's probably answering the board info thing.
Okay.
No, we're at the part where we're ready to put in our first program and set up programming.
I wish someone would have mentioned save this link. We'll need it for next week.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the Elecrow wiki. This doesn't look like what we were looking at last week.
If you go back to Elecrow's site, it should be on the 1302 page.
Is that where it was? Oh, wait, here's tutorials. That looks something completely different.
And I wonder how many times I'm going to say Elecraft when I mean Elecrow.
I'm translating in my head. Oh. Elecrow.com. And we're...
Okay. I've got it. I will send it to you in the private chat.
Okay.
There we go. Done.
Yep.
Doc Brad, how's it going? $4.99 super chat. Thank you very much. He says, bring on LoRa Part 2. LoRa Samora, if you couldn't pronounce my thumbnail there. I think that VX2 needs a special 6-volt charger like my VX1. It probably uses the exact same charger as the VX1.
Yeah, it's a very small barrel connector, and it will charge, according to the manual, anywhere between like 3.5 and 7 volts. So you can literally just jam a USB connector in it if I could find the right dingus.
So I don't know if we did the step 8.2. I'm checking that out real quick. We did not do 8.2. Okay, so let me share out my screen while you're finding 8.2. And it says enable the I2C and the SPI interfaces. So
I'm there.
Preferences, Raspberry Pi config. And then interfaces. And then this is the graphical version that I was sharing.
Yeah.
And then Jim was showing you the text versions. I'm going to enable SPI and I2C and hit OK.
And those are serial interfaces. And other options besides UART.
Yes.
Which is what most of everybody is familiar with, is Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transmitter. And I cannot remember what SPI and I2C stand for. So, sorry.
Some people say I2C. That's hard to say.
Yeah, yeah. Doc, thank you for the super chat. And Colin in VK has gifted one temporarily offline membership, which went to Iowa Hank.
Iowa Hank, awesome.
So thank you, Colin, and congrats, Iowa Hank, and thank you, Doc. Awesome.
All right, what's the next step, Jimmy?
Don't call me Jimmy, please.
Well, you can call me Stevie in return, like you always do.
I do that to you when we're not in human company.
Oh, okay.
All right, Sparky. Getting and compiling the SX1302 source. So you need to install Git, which I'm sure you already have. And then we need to clone.
I might not. This is a fresh machine.
Okay, I'm going to send you that in private chat.
All right, so sudo nala install -y git. Let's see if it does the thing or if it's already installed. Oh, it is already installed. There. But look at that, beautiful colors. All right, next command that you had.
It's in the chat.
Was cd into my home directory and then run the git clone command.
Yep. And I didn't get the G, so you'll have to...
yeah, I got it. G. When they give you that tilde, that's an alias for your home directory. So if I'm in like cd/etc, where all the configuration files are, and I do cd tilde, it takes me to my home directory, home Steve. You can also, it's weird that they did that, /etc. So I'm in the /etc folder, and I can do cd and just press enter, and it takes me to the same place. So anyway, but that's the thing about Linux commands, Unix commands. There's about a million ways you can do the same thing.
Right.
Oh, that repository is not found because it's missing something. Yeah. Let me see what I can do.
Did we make a typo?
No, you got it right.
Okay.
I think they got it wrong.
Brian Hendricks has gifted 5 temporarily offline ham radio memberships to Pamela, N1ZKH, Ham Till It Hurts, Chris Robinson, The Happy Ham, and Dean KQ4ADJ. Thank you, Brian, and congrats to our new members. Awesome.
I don't think they want you to clone that. Maybe they do. Let me share this out instead. Stop that, present, share, and it's that one. So I am on Elecrow's GitHub page, which is where they have all of their source code stuff, and the URL that they had on their documentation was elecrow-rd/LR1302_LoRaWAN, and then they wanted this LR1302_HAL, which is where I'm at, and I'm looking for the... I don't think they wanted you to clone that. I think they wanted you to get that folder. Yeah, so I've got to be here. It's a very weird way they have this thing set up. So I'm going to click that and click that to copy it. And then I'm going to stop that screen and present this other screen instead.
Hello, Kathy Thompson. Up in the house.
Hello, Kathy Thompson. So now I'm in that same folder. I'm going to do git clone, which I think is already part of the copy line. It is not. All right, so now we've downloaded those files. Sparky is Jim's pet name for me, yes. Okay. Excellent.
Everybody so now we're all caught up. Tell Kathy Thompson hi. So they want you to move to that folder and then make and compile it.
Oh, yeah.
This is the time on Nuggets when we compile.
And this is still bad directions because they want me to go to my home directory /SX1302, which folder. Is not my home directory. It is this directory here instead. LR1302 underscore LoRaWAN / LR1302 underscore HAL / SX1302 underscore HAL. Okay, and then they want you to run the make command, which I also think is wrong because I haven't configured anything. It'll make. It's making pretty quick. However, I'm going to break that. Make-J4 because I wanted to use all 4 cores to speed it up some. Oh, compile tax. Thank you, Dan. I said Don. I don't know why I said Don.
Dan, well, why don't we call him Don in South Dakota since you got that part wrong too?
Right.
Dan, thank you. For the longest time, we all thought Dan was in South Dakota.
All right. It appears to be compiled. What's next? Configure TTN related content. Oh, sure. What is this TTN v3 console they discuss here?
Is it this thing?
I ain't got one of those.
You ain't?
I ain't got one of those.
Okay, well then we're looking at the wrong instructions then.
Well, they've been wrong for a minute here, yeah. The Things Network. Blueberry, I agree with you.
Huh. Yeah, I don't think we're on the right page. I mean, some of this is... Let's back up and see if we missed a step up here, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to put the link in the chat in case it hasn't been already done.
No, it hasn't. Sorry.
Nah, not your problem. We got Frank here. Frank's supposed to be doing this stuff.
Frank, chip chop, son.
He's still mad because we talked about him earlier today.
Right. So there's a block diagram of the layout. Specs. Pinouts, those are nice. And once we figure out how all this works, we could actually put the scope on some of these pins and watch the clock signals go by and decode clock signals, technically.
Oh.
I don't know if your little scope will do that, but the big one should.
So Blueberry was right. TTN v3 is the Things Network. That's great, but we didn't do the Things Network yet. Let's go back up to the top.
All right, you've installed the 1302 WAN hat.
I did. Software preparation. Huh. I did not know that you needed to plug the thing in over USB-C to itself. Check this out.
Yeah.
Oh, you're already there. Yeah.
Yeah. Easily install the hat onto the Raspberry Pi 40-pin connector. Did you easily install it?
It was fairly easy, yes.
Insert the 1302 module into the hat as shown below and tighten it down.
Did that?
If using the USB version of the 1302 module, connect its Type-C port to the Raspberry Pi USB port using the Type-C USB cable.
I'm going to try not doing that.
Okay. Then we enable the I2C and the SPI interfaces. And we're back to where we are.
Okay. So I'm going to look up TTN v3 on their site.
I'm going to read the chat real quick and see if any... Let's see. Oh, yep, read all that.
But even if I did have the TTN v3 console thing, the rest of the language on that page doesn't make any sense either.
Yeah, no, I don't think this is what we were looking at last week. None of this looks familiar in any way. So I'm going to go back here. Okay, that's where we were. This doesn't look anything like what we were looking at last week.
Yeah, this is a different page.
Yeah, I don't think this is the same thing we were looking at.
So this is the other page I just found, and I will put it in the big chat too. It's in the private chat for you.
Okay.
This is for setting up the gateway. I think last week you were setting up the node, which will use the Arduino IDE. Yes, we were kind of playing with both, and we don't know. We got to start somewhere. So what Blueberry's saying in the chat, let me see if I can pull it out of the box, is this thingy here, which is the other end of the radio communications.
Okay.
And
Yeah, that's
yes,
what
we
you
can plug
put
this
the
in via
sensor.
USB-C, and we can program this thingy.
Yeah. That's what the sensor modules plug into, right?
Yeah, but once it's programmed, then what do we do? Because it's programmed, but it's not talking anything. Hey, Taylor.
Taylor,
So
what's up,
on that
buddy?
new page, interface function, applications, nice. So it's just magic. It just works.
Yeah, apparently so.
Okay, I have another idea. Let's
Resource,
look
and
at
that's a
the
schematic. Okay, so
gateway
that's
module itself. Yeah, and that's back to the TTN related content thing.
Yep, that's the gateway module. Oh, wait. There we go.
What?
There's apparently two different kinds. So there's the basic gateway module and there's the LoRaWAN gateway module. And then there's the LoRaWAN
Yeah, and the LoRaWAN
hat.
is the one that I have. The
That's the
LoRaWAN
one.
gateway module goes into the hat. So there's this little white thing that's then on this purple thing that's then on this green thing. Thank you, Chris. Yep. And then that's the page that we were on for the step 8.4.
Yep, sure is. It's very fun. Hmm. Yep. It's the same stuff. Well, I mean, this is the only LoRa stuff they've got listed on here. Under IoT,
Everybody's talking about it, but nobody's actually installing it.
Frank said we want the LoRa RA08H page.
Yeah, I think they're talking about the other board. Yep.
Yeah,
That's the other board.
that's this guy
This
right
little thing here that we showed a few seconds ago.
Yeah.
And we can pick the other direction and go, but we're still going to wind up back at this point here where we have a problem. Unless these instructions magically say how to do the TTN. And Hacks is correct. The trouble is the point. That's why we all come here, is to do this.
Well, see, this shows... This kind of indicates to me that's an app you run on a computer.
Yeah, so Blueberry's saying you have to register the gateway EUI and TTN console first, then configure the rest. That's great. Where do we go to do that? The TTN is a website. So thethingsnetwork.org, okay. So let me share that out. Oh, you're already sharing it out. Okay, good.
I like to share. Okay.
I'm going to sign up.
Yep. So I assume you got your own page and you're doing the thing, right?
Yeah, I'm doing the get started for free. Really? Carrier grade LoRaWAN network server that scales. Really? I really don't need carrier grade infrastructure to test out the moisture in my greenhouse soil.
Right.
Get started for free, especially since it's very difficult just to even get started. I keep doing the get started for free and I'm like 9 pages in.
One of y'all, Frank, go back and look at last week in the description and see what those links are.
They're in this description also.
They are? Okay.
Yeah.
Then let me...
I should not need to use a public gateway to do this.
Yeah, I would... Well, isn't that what this is? If you have this little dingus here?
So I should be able to use this stuff to talk to my other stuff inside of my house without having to communicate to the internet at all.
Right.
And I'm not signing up for a monthly payment plan to do this. So that might be a dead end there. That seems like the wrong way to do it.
Blueberry's saying you have to register the gateway EUI and user interface, I assume, in the TTN console first, then you configure the rest.
It sounds to me, and I could be wrong, it sounds to me that the TTN console is, yes, greenhouse monitoring, air quotes, is the thingsnetwork.org website. And
right.
that's a pay-to-play site. And I really don't need to monitor my soil's moisture conductivity
and pay for
hard enough that I need to have my own personal radio network that is then connected to the internet so that I can then see something. I mean, like, where am I going to be? I'm going to be in I don't know, Columbia, South Carolina, monitoring the soil
or Missouri
capacitance, the soil moisture. Yeah. Blueberry posted a link in Discord. Let me see Discord.
Hey, Chuck Chambers, how are you, man? Oh, yeah, I have many messages in Discord.
Consolecloud.thethings.network. Okay, so the things.network is completely different. That page dies for me, but I am on the front side of logging in. Let's go to the things.network. No. Okay, that page doesn't work at all. Copy link. Let's go back to Chrome. It's the present, share, new tab, share. So if we go to this new tab here, and I go to console.cloud.thethings.network, which was the link that was shared, it did not work in Firefox. It's working in Chrome. Interesting. You don't need to know my location. I picked California because I definitely this seems to be doing the thing. Yeah, so the Thing Stacks sandbox. Let's sign up for free. And let's do this in a different browser page.
I just unshared you.
Oh, thank you. No session. Really?
While you're doing that, Michael got his Poseidon built in about 45 minutes. Yes,
Nice.
I hate measuring out wire. That is just a pain in the butt. I pulled out 2 feet on my tape measure and then just measured wire in 2-foot increments until I got to the right length. And you guys will love the Poseidon. Ape still is flapping his jaws about it. And I've been using mine all day on FT8. And I've got contacts from VK, I mean, pretty much worldwide. I'm in Alabama, so from here I've got VK, ZL, South Africa, a couple other countries on the African continent, Europe. So it's a great antenna. So Blueberry said you can do this without the Things network and without internet, but it's way more complicated since you have to self-host it. Yeah, I would imagine you could self-host it, but it would be...
Well, this is different than the other one because this one now allowed me to log into the sandbox without signing up for a monthly account.
Okay.
So we're back in business. Log in with the Things ID.
Can I have an 8-foot long bench? Maybe 10? No, actually it's 12 because it goes the whole width of the shop. The problem is that there's stuff except for like 3.5 feet in the middle. So that would be a good plan.
Okay, looks like we're back in business.
Great. Welcome to the console. All right.
So now from that page, now that we're in here, what do we do next? Sideboom in the house. Hey, Sideboom.
Ryan. I hope it's okay if I said his real name. His parole officer knows his real name.
You'd have to ask him.
Now we got to find where the heck we were. No.
The wiki link in the private chat, probably the fastest way to get there.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
I think it's the first one. Yeah, it's the first one.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
All right, I shared your screen out. All right, log into the console. Did that. Click Go to Gateway, and then click Add Gateway on the Add Gateway page. Okay, so I'm going to go register a gateway since there isn't a Go to Gateway. There's gateways.
Guess the big button that says Register a Gateway.
I see it. Register a gateway. Gateway EUI. Okay, so it said pay attention to the gateway EUI thing. And the corresponding
unique
frequency.
identifier.
And where? I'm glad I'm paying attention to that. How would I pay attention to something I don't have? So it wants me to enter in the gateway EUI or continue without one.
The 64-bit. So, okay, so this is for if you have the little gateway dingus there.
Which I do. So if we go back here, it is this thing here. And you can see there isn't any EUI on that device. I have a model number, a serial number, an FCC ID, and then I have a QR code. Let me try the QR code.
I was going to say, what's this QR code reveal for us?
Camera, photo. Really? It gave a number, which is fine. Let's assume that's the number.
Is it, Chris said it's on the line I was just reading. This AA555A bunch of zeros? I mean, I assume that was just an example for here.
The module does unplug, but I need to unscrew it in order to do that.
Huh.
So somewhere it is set to that in the wiki.
Yeah, yeah, that's the number I highlighted. That's the one that's used in the wiki.
Ah, okay. Later on in the page, it is in fact set to that.
Okay.
But you'd kind of want to do steps in order, folks. All right, I will use the magical one that they have set. But I'm going to make it a different, I'm going to change it from AA to BB. Because otherwise I'm copying word for word what they have in the instructions, and I will have a collision with everybody else that's out there.
All three of them. We're probably in Germany doing this. This is some elite hacksaw. I'm already I'm going to stick my finger in the pot and see how wet the dirt is.
Right. My new gateway name. This is
Steve's Gateway.
Gateway 1.
I call it Nugget 1. Nugget Gateway. Nuggy.
Nuggets Force
There you
1.
go.
There we go.
Ooh, yeah, that's
Select
good.
a frequency plan.
And you should be... I guess the TTN one. I don't know here since you're not on TTN, but... If you set your own gateway.
Gateway server address. Frequency plan. If using the United States, select FSB2. If you're using the 915 module, select 902 to 928 megahertz FSB2.
Okay.
Okay, so if you look at that page, the wiki instructions page, I just shared it out on your screen again. Scroll up right above that graphic. And right there.
Mm-hmm.
See if you can decode that. If using the US 915 module, select United States 902, 928 megahertz FSB2, period, or is that a comma?
It says the same thing. It's just terrible copy editing.
Okay.
I mean, both of them say the exact same thing.
All right, so I'm picking FSB2.
It passed the spell check. Let's go with that.
Right. Share status within network, share location within network. Sure. Register gateway. Okay, so it is now registered. And obviously I haven't done anything to connect it, so there we go. Okay, next step in the instructions.
After adding your gateway, go back to the Pi and press Control-C to stop LoRa packet forward. What?
Did we ever start LoRa packet forward?
See if it's running.
Well, I mean, I'm be pressing Control C on a command prompt.
Yeah. Well, I know, but I mean, we haven't installed anything really on there except the regular Linux stuff. So
Yeah, so the first mention of LoRa packet forward in the document is the instruction to stop running LoRa packet forward. So
have we missed something here?
Let's do window. Let's do...
Well, that comes back to this gateway module. Because that link...
Yeah, so what it wants...
Oh, look here. All right.
Look where?
Does this look familiar?
Yep. That's the board stuff from last week.
I know. I don't know that we ever finished this page because I'm not even a quarter of the way through it yet.
Yeah, we didn't finish that page. Liberty Cave, you haven't missed anything. We have just been sitting here scratching our heads, not knowing what we're doing. I guess
think. Go ahead, Steve.
every week.
Sorry.
That's every week on Nuggets.
Right. I think we need to do these. We need to walk through this page first.
Okay, let's walk through that page first. We'll save this for later. But we did make some progress thanks to the chat's help. Fantastic. Yeah, Ken's right. We registered something. We created a username and an account on a public gateway that we can then sometime eventually in the future somewhere do something with. Okay, so back at the part where we added the board.
We did that.
So
you have the dev module installed, all that.
Scroll up. Because the last thing we did was get the 2.6.0 version of the Raspberry Pi 2040.
Okay, there you
go.
go.
So we haven't done that yet. Keep going up. That's not it. That's the ESP32. Keep going. We did. We made a program. Chris is right. We did a compile.
Well, this is the top of the page.
Okay, go down a little bit. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Preferences, yep. Paste in that long URL and that other long URL. We did that. Yep, keep going. Keep going. Okay,
Tools, boards,
you
manager.
went too far. It was my mistake. Go up a little bit. Yes, chat attempts LoRa. You're correct. So I don't know how we got to the RP2040 version 2.60 thing last week.
Because I think... Well, there's the RP2040 right there.
Right where?
Right here in the middle of the screen that I'm sharing.
So we did that part.
Okay. And then we...
But I don't think we did both of those URLs. Hang on.
I don't think we did either. I think we got one of them done. There's an ESP32 one and then the 2041. Yes, it's to put my pole in when I'm changing the lure out.
Please. My connection died. Don, yes, you are in trouble. Can you paste me the first link, please?
Yeah. No, that didn't copy it.
That should be the open a new tab button, which doesn't make sense in this context. All right, so let me do that. So I went into File Preferences, and I clicked that little button that they said to click. And now I've got both of those URLs in there.
Yep, tell it okay.
All right, back to your page.
All right. Tools, boards, board manager in the menu bar to enter the boards manager interface. Then we need to load the ESP32-206.
Okay. It is downloading all the platform indexes and everything else.
Because, well, does this not
We
ring a
did
bell with you?
It does, but we did the RP2040, not the ESP 8266 or whatever it is. What is the thing it says? ESP32?
Yeah, ESP32. When selecting the development environment version, don't choose the latest ones. Recommend choose version 203.
203 this time.
Mm-hmm.
And the latest one is 2014. Let's go back into past for 203. And so I picked 203 from the drop-down, and I'm going to hit install. And it's downloading.
All right.
Oh, that's a big boy. 3K of 246 megs. 3 megs of 246 megs. A progress indicator here.
Yeah, Jody. He said one major published in October, some minor edits in November, and nothing since. 99% chance that no one outside the project's actually read this.
Right.
Frank said it looks like last
Yeah,
week we
SOP,
did
don't vet your docs.
on the AVR boards.
Yes. That's where we are right now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so big tip to anybody that is ever watching the show who has some control over a documentation process for a large software company. Whoever writes the documentation should not be the person that wrote the software.
And whoever tests the documentation should be someone who was not involved in the dang project at all.
Right. Like me.
Ditto for testing the user interface. Because I guarantee you the guy who wrote it thinks it's the greatest thing in the world since sliced bread. The rest of the world shudders.
Yeah. He's running it on a computer that all of this stuff is already set up on. So all of the cussing and swearing that he did has already happened for him in the past, and now he's just writing the documentation from the exact same machine.
Right. All right.
So we get to watch software download. While we're watching software download, we've got some announcements. Yeah, that we can make. Jim, tell us about some of the fancy products these people can go and put in their own shacks from our website.
Well, we have, of course, 4 antenna lines now, and actually a fork of one of them. We have the Aries, which is a random wire end fed. Our new Aries kits come with 100 feet of wire on a spool. We have 5 of the light kits, which was our original product, which comes with pre-cut wire. It's $5 less if you don't want the spool of wire. We have the Apollo end-fed, the one that started it all, kind of, sort of. There was a name change in there, which is a great go-to antenna. Huh?
To protect the guilty.
You're right. Exactly.
Yeah. And end-fed half-wave, 40, 20, 15, and 10, all resonant, all on one antenna with one wire going up in any direction you want and one wire going out.
Yep. The Aries, of course, requires a tuner. It's a 9-to-1. We recommend 41 feet, and you should be able to tune most anything. I mean, with a good enough tuner, you can tune it to 160. I mean, bless your heart, but, you probably can. We also have the Mercury, which is our link dipole, which pretty much is bring your own band, and you can set that up for whatever you want based on how you cut the wires. And then our newest critter is the Poseidon, which is a vertical, and it is officially 40-6. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, 40-6 officially. The Primate last night,
unofficially, you can do other bands on it.
Yeah, deep into the Miller Lite, he was pounding out some contacts on 80 meters on FT8. He was sending "my gout hurts," and then he got replies. So again, with the tuner, you've got to have a tuner for it. It will tune itself into submission quite nicely. And I've been using mine with my Flex for like a week and a half now since I built it. And I've got, I don't know, 800 FT8 contacts and a lot of parks on the air hunting I've done with it. Officially 100 watts sideband, 50 watts digital. Unofficially, you can push the envelope a fair amount. We also have tumblers, 5 of them. We will have penguins coming in a couple, 3 weeks. So please don't let me, I want you all to prove me wrong and sell us out of pink tumblers, because I got a feeling this time next year I'm going to have a case of pink tumblers. And we also have parts kits for our antennas if you lose parts or want spare parts for field day or whatever. And we have wire that we use as well. I think that about covers that. Steve and I are working on a new look for the website. We're kind of migrating to a different back-end vendor. So that's still mostly done, but in process. So that'll be cool. And it might make Steve be a little less grumpy. I don't think so, but it might be.
Still downloading.
Still downloading? Okay. What else? I bought a Retevis RT. What is that thing? Steve, the new one. I gotta look it up.
The new one.
The new DMR radio from Retevis. The Alence HD2. Well, it
Doesn't
says
ring a bell.
Retevis. Retevis Alence HD2.
Yes, the HD2. Yep.
Yep. And I will be putting out a video
Dave,
on that
the random wire. No.
this week. It was barefoot, and we found out after we started that kind of means a thing for a certain segment of population, and it's kind of creepy. So
it was an homage to the QRP guys who sold QRP kits to be the barefoot guys who sold 100-watt, aka barefoot radio gear.
Right.
And it didn't work. Gone.
Yeah. I mean, it's not the biggest marketing flop in history. I mean, we have New Coke, right?
Right.
40 years later, the echoes of that shitstorm still echo. So anyway, the Alence HD2, I bought mine, and I will be doing a video on it and putting it on the Spectrum Analyzer. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of sore heinies after I'm done with it. I also feel that I'll be sending it back to the vendor. Don, no. We do have coffee. And if you go to our website, you can link there to our delicious coffee, which is actually on a separate website. There are 3 blends of Coffee and Ham Radio's coffee. There is Morning Net, Private Reserve, and QRO. I believe that's what it's called.
QRO High Test, probably.
QRO High Test.
It's hamradios.coffee.
Yeah. Or you can get there from coffeeandhamradios.com, either way. So that is available as a subscription, or you can change that and just order 1 bag and not subscribe. Either way, whatever is most convenient for you. So I
like this download progress indicator. It's only showing this much is done, but then it's telling me 216 megs of 246 megs downloaded.
So are they counting files, I guess, instead of bytes? So apparently
we will find out.
Some big files here pretty soon.
I mean,
Frank,
250 megs is a lot for a board definition.
all right, we're gonna have to fire Frank. Frank, go remove those messages right now. Seriously, right now. It is coffeeandhamradios.com. Do not use that link because that link is not going to work soon.
In a week.
Yep. So do not go to that link. Frank posted the wrong link. We used some internet trickery to get to wherever our e-com site is. Do not go to coffeeandhamradios.square.site. Please remove those messages, Frank. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so it finished. This is like a pet peeve of Jim's, in case you couldn't tell. It finished downloading the first one. Now it's downloading one of 7 tools. So this might be the download show, like the compile show we did before.
Lordy. Yeah, Frank. So the coffeeandhamradios.com and the hamradios.coffee site is correct, but that square.site thing that's a backdoor kind of thing, and it's not going to work in a week. So I've been telling Chuck for 2 years to quit using it, and the ape too.
Chuck wants to know which one you like best.
I'm waiting on mine. I just ordered it the other day because I'd honestly forgotten about it, which is kind of why we're mentioning it tonight, Chuck. I ordered the private reserve. So I will. Is it called private reserve? Let me share the website out.
It's called something. There's like a little thing in the upper corner.
There we go. Yeah. Morning Net, private reserve, and QRO high test. So there they are. Now, and I will tell you guys, when you order this, it's going to come up as a subscription. After you order your first bag, you can go to your account and you can let it renew, which it's going to do automatically, or you can just cancel the sub and just buy, because I'm probably going to buy one of the other 2 bags too and decide which one I like the best before I subscribe to anything.
Scott's asking which one is the light roast. The morning net is closest to breakfast blend, and then they get darker.
This is
like my soul.
Yeah, you have a soul? My heart is 2 sizes too small. This is probably
You're a mean one,
roast,
Mr. Jim.
Roast. That's exactly right. And this is probably more Colombian, I would guess, a darker roast or a Colombian. So, I love coffee.
What flavor would the TO beer be? It's got a, I don't know. I used to be an IPA guy, and then I mellowed. I lost some of my hipster charm.
I drink PBR whenever I drink beer.
So it's 2 Pilsners, American Pilsners.
Or a single malt from the Highlands.
So we're still downloading, 3 of 7 now, of an unknown amount of downloads and download size.
Lee, I don't know because I haven't tasted it yet. I will offer tasting notes. It should be here before Saturday's show. I won't be around for the Thursday night show, but I can offer some tasting notes Saturday morning because I'll be drinking it.
I see what Andy did there.
Yeah.
I think 6 of 1 is better than 7 of 9.
Played 7 of 9. What was her name? What's her name? Jerry? Something?
Jerry Ryan.
Yeah.
Jack Ryan's wife.
Smoking hot.
That's a joke.
I got that.
I have to now say that's a joke because I'm in the company of hams and you can't tell a ham a joke. I'll just get corrected. Jack Ryan is not Jerry Ryan's husband. Knock it off.
Well, I mean, I kind of got the reference because you threw in Hunt for Red October, which is the world's greatest movie. That's not Tombstone, and I got that.
Correct.
So yeah, if you click on these, it will tell you a little bit about them. Signature breakfast blend designed to kickstart your day with bold flavor and smooth vibes. This dark roasted delight offers a perfect balance of richness and brightness. private reserve. Indulge in the pure essence of Mexican Chiapas with our private. I like Mexican coffee. I subscribe to another coffee club thing, and I've had some Mexican coffee that was really good. Single origin coffee captures the soulful flavors of the region with its mild intensity and clean, crisp finish. Delight in the slightly nutty undertones that define Mexican Chiapas coffee, offering a refreshing and invigorating experience with every sip. This is the one I've got coming. And these are also available in decaf and whole bean if you're interested in either of those options. Although if you're drinking decaf coffee, bless your heart.
Still going.
High test. Get ready to dial up the intensity. Bold flavors. French roast. A force to be reckoned with. Dark roasted to perfection. Hearty flavor. Jolt of energy. Robust pick-me-up. Okay. So there you have it.
And we're just vamping while we install software.
Right.
So coffeeandhamradios.com to get you started.
Mike. He might have been named Jack Ryan, but I don't think that was the comp. Never mind. Exactly right, Bryant.
Chris, you missed it. Highlander? Really? Best movie ever made? Really?
The first Highlander
Jim's speechless.
was good. It was. The abomination that followed and went from immortals who are just immortal to space people. It was probably written by the same jackasses that wrote that off-brand, non-canon 3 Star Trek movies that should have been burned before they were ever shown to humans. That they retconned in by going, oh, alternate universe, look, here's old Spock. There are some things that just shouldn't be shared with the world.
Jim is so bitter.
Well, to quote a very smart man, just because you can do a thing does not mean that you should do that thing. Anybody?
Right.
Caddyshack was funny. Ghostbusters was good. Blues Brothers was awesome. Ron said Rambo First Blood. That was a good movie. The rest were hot garbage. Yeah, probably so. I don't remember past 2, and I vaguely only remember 2. Lou, I will agree that Talladega Nights was hilarious. One single plop. That was good. Jacked up like a spider monkey on Mountain Dew. Full Metal Jacket.
My download speed is not actually this bad. That's got to be them.
Die Hard is a Christmas movie. That is exactly right. Lee, that was a good movie. Any of the Dirty Harry movies were actually pretty good, except the last one.
Let's see.
A little reaching.
Yeah, this is all their site.
Yeah,
this is
nothing
plenty
wrong with
fast
that
enough in
internet
both
speed. Yeah.
directions.
Roadhouse. Has anybody seen the new Roadhouse? Is it out
Roadhouse.
yet? I know there's a new version of it, a reboot or remake rather. The original one with Swayze just was awesome. And for those of you who are Thrones fans, House of the Dragon returns June 16th. Ron said the new Roadhouse is garbage. Okay.
We're on 6 of 7, but there's still a bunch of space left. So I don't know. Any questions in the chat about anything at all ham radio related or adjacent? Drop them in, and we'll talk about that instead of vamping about movies.
Right.
This is ridiculous.
Where are we at on time? Shoot, we only got 20 minutes. Red Dawn, awesome movie. Shogun, exactly, Lou. I saw the original miniseries. It was awesome back then. I've read all the Clavel books, and the new Shogun is aces. Very good. I like the old Toranaga a little better. He looked more Toranaga-like, but the new one's good too.
Oh, Jeff wants to know the best mast to buy. Not a carbon fiber mast.
So not trying to steer anybody.
Spider beams is good.
You can get a 10-meter DX Commander mast from DX Engineering for $71. So there you go. And they also have the 12-meter and the bigger one for reasonable prices as well. I want to say the 12-meter was $86 on DX Engineering, but they didn't have it in stock. I just ordered the 10-meter mast Friday or Saturday. Ape and I were talking about it in our chat. $71 for a 10-meter mast, and that's the same that's on the DX Commander Classic.
Yeah. LC's asking, is the 42-foot doublet all that and a bag of chips? For any band above the 42-foot band, 42-foot and above, yes, it's great. Anything below that, not so much. So what is that going to be, 30? 20 meters?
30? I don't know. It's making me math. Alexa, convert 42 feet to meters.
42 feet is about 12.8 meters.
So they probably 30 meters.
Spelling counts. Oh, that's why. It's 12 meters. 13 meters. 12.8 meters to be precise.
I just asked her.
So yes.
Yes.
But the way a doublet works is it's the band that you cut it for and everything above it.
But is that... Okay, I thought a doublet was a dipole. I really have no familiarity with a doublet. Well, I don't know why you call it a doublet instead of a dipole.
Because it's not resonant. A dipole is resonant, a doublet is not. And a dipole doesn't matter what it's fed with.
Okay.
So that's the distinction. A doublet has to be fed with ladder line, and it is not resonant by design. You need a tuner. But it's a great antenna. It's one of the better antennas that's out there. Any new antenna kits in the works? Yes, there are.
Yep.
What did you do while the solar radio blackout? You're talking Sunday. I got on the air and made 40-some contacts.
I played FT8, and I made some... you can't see it, it's off camera. I have an FTDX12 hundreds sitting right here on my desk, not connected to an amplifier, and I made about 8 POTA hunting contacts on this bad boy yesterday with only 100 watts and a DX Commander Rapide, because the Flex is connected to our Poseidon, or I would have used that. But I didn't notice that there was a blackout, and I did FT8 yesterday morning a fair amount before I started talking on the radio, so I don't know. Somebody asked about a bazooka.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about those. I know what they're talking
nothing
about, but I've never built one myself.
I know nothing, and I'm not even named Jon Snow.
Right. Did the big snow make it to me? No, it did not. I am in Missouri right now, and the snow did not make it down to Missouri. The riddle
Hamstick
is
made
asking a
25
riddle.
QSOs on 6 meters. That's awesome. I don't ever see anybody. I've never caught anybody on 6 meters. I think I did a couple of FT8 contacts one time. And Tall Florida
Hacks
Todd
with Axe
activated a park.
is asking favorite ham radio movie. That's probably Die Hard still. Oh no, there was a couple of TV series. I thought Frequency was a TV series.
No, well, originally it's a movie with
Okay.
Dennis Quaid and Jesus, what's his name? Caviezel. Yeah, it was a movie back in the 90s, I think, or early 2000s. It was an awesome movie. And then they redid it as a series, and it was okay. It was all right.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah. Marvin knows 2 things about bazookas. One is a boomstick, and the other is a monoband antenna.
Liberty wants to know, what is the mast that Chuck found at Quartz Fest? That is the Flagpole Buddy mast. And that was actually a pretty good mast. It's 12 foot, I think. Don't quote me on that. It might be 20 foot.
So Todd activated a park today.
Nice.
And I don't
Congratulations,
know why I'm
Todd.
low. I don't think I'm
Ham till it
low.
hurts.
I think TO might be hot. Because I haven't adjusted any of this, mostly, that you know of.
Oh, it's probably me. If ham YouTubers did celebrity deathmatch style fighting, who would win? I would win. Skinny people fight until they're meat.
But some of us have more mass and more inertial momentum. Just saying.
Yeah, I can do Aikido and use that against you.
Did you see Raiders of the Lost Ark? You remember the scene with the bullwhip thing? If I'm in a celebrity death match, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Don't bring a starship to a wormhole.
Installation complete.
Ooh,
Right? Installation
and,
complete, Jim.
Yeah, and we got 10 minutes. Good Lord.
Okay, so I guess we'll just finish out the questions and then we'll pick up again next week, because we've made near zero progress this week. This is fantastic. Dave's saying we're starting a new ham club. Go ahead.
Well, go ahead and get Dave, and then we'll talk about this to vamp out the rest of our 10 minutes, because I got a couple things I was going to show you. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm waiting on you.
Dave says we're starting a new ham club. Any ideas for sessions projects to keep everyone engaged? The thing that my ham club had a problem with is that one guy did a really...
What are you doing?
You stopped moving.
I'm right here.
Oh, there you are.
I'm confused. I've been sitting here the whole time. And you're not frozen.
Yeah, you stopped moving for me, so I was like, yeah, you keep freezing on me.
Okay, we can hear you just fine.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to go through that whole monologue and then have nobody hear it anyway. All right, so
you're fine. Don't stop
Okay.
believing, baby. Go on.
All right. So we at my original ham club, we had a guy that did such a great job of presentations that everybody was afraid to do presentations. So I would try to encourage people to do presentations. Maybe your first few presentations can be a presentation about how to do presentations so people get more comfortable with it. But everything is on topic for a ham club presentation. We watched the DXpedition video. Like Jim just got the FTDX 1200. Bring it, show and tell, set it up, play with it, go through all the different menus because there's thousands of them. I mean, that'll be 3 weeks worth of shows right there.
Jeez Louise.
So yeah, I mean, just go through all the Nuggets episodes that I did and copy every single thing that I've done. Not that I'm, an expert on anything, but that's the whole point of this show. Is it's kind of our ham club meeting where we get to experiment and play with stuff.
Well, I mean, that's what a lot of what we all do on our YouTube channels. Some of us, you can guess who, really like to play with toroids. Name does not rhyme with Jim. Steve has always got some kind of project, and he rolls a lot of that stuff into his mobile lifestyle kind of stuff, and tinkers with a whole lot, obviously, with stuff we have no idea about that's ham related, because neither one of us, we could spell LoRa last week, and I can spell it this week with authority. But I like to experiment, and what Steve said is exactly right. None of that stuff would be off the table. How to set up a Raspberry Pi, how to set up Fusion. If you're really bold, do D-Star DMR with a bunch of OMs. Bless your heart. But
yeah,
what
the FT8?
Right? FT8 is a good one. Honestly, we got Chuck Thompson is doing FT8. So I mean, right there, it's doable. And Chuck can whip out an antenna in a heartbeat, and he can talk about them all day, and solar panels and motorcycles and stuff. Chuck just a little computer shy about some stuff, but he's FT8, and FT8 would be a good one. I mean, people hate on FT8.
Do a club buy of a kit and build the kit together.
That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. There's just I like tinkering with a lot of different stuff, and that's kind of what I do on my channel. Is this week I've got this dingus or that dingus, or we're gonna do a little digital radio thing, or we're gonna whatever. A PowerPoint class, exactly. Yeah. Oh.
How to make ham radio PowerPoints.
I like doing FT8. I mean, I do FT8 when I'm at work. So I remote into my station here, and I've got FT8. I might make a couple contacts, and then I don't get back to it for an hour. Or if I'm sitting here watching the latest episode of something on YouTube or Hulu or Netflix or whatever, I may have FT8 going. It's something I can just side do, and it's entertaining to me.
Yeah, this is really cool. Next club meeting's at the local antique wireless museum. Move the meeting around, definitely.
Yep.
I like Frank's idea.
Yes. Somebody said build DX commanders, but any of them, do a build, like Steve was saying too.
Yeah.
Do a group buy of an antenna kit and put antennas together, because hams love antennas.
Yeah, do a POTA together. Dave, you know something about POTA. Or go very meta and have a club demonstration on what topics you should demonstrate, and then let everybody just throw out their. I'm thinking of, I'll give you 3 choices what today's session's about, and then they'll all guess. They'll throw out 15 guesses, and you just taking notes. All right, we're gonna go with the third guess.
I like ham till it hurts. What color of smoke will come out of this
component? I like that.
See, and that's going to change. Tantalum capacitors might be a different color than than the other electrolytics.
Yes. See, this is what floors me. Michael's correct about this. A lot of older hams really get a kick out of learning computer basics, and I'm like, I don't get that.
Right, Dan? Yes. I learned I was about 12.
That is a somewhat Air Force icon.
That's like the new Air Force one, yeah. Somewhat. I learned about popping caps
Mike
when I was like 12
says
years
he
old.
won a 1200.
He still got it. I worked a trade with another ham for this, and this is a really nice radio, other than I had to figure out all the menus, and I've actually, and I was going to do a video on it probably, but tested the power on it, plugged in my CW key, and I used that to test power with a meter. And how old is the 1200? I mean, this thing is not a new radio, right? It's discontinued.
Correct. It was discontinued a while ago, I think. That was the 450, 1200, 3000, 5000 lineup, I think.
I think that's right. Didn't Chuck say that? He said it was one model below the 3000. And I think the 3000 is discontinued too.
Yep. Late 20-teens.
Okay. Dan
So,
Metcalf.
not that old.
Exactly.
It's
doomed.
older than the 991A.
If I had one complaint about this radio so far, is that that's not a touchscreen. But it also does not have USB. And I don't have the gear to do FT8 with it at this time.
LC, we finished the download, and we didn't really have enough time left in the show to do the next thing. So it was a good point to take some questions.
I am going to mark those links so we don't spend any time looking for them next week.
Good idea.
That's not really cheap. Oh, you want it from Gigaparts? Oh, wow, you're like ham famous, dude. Mike won the DX1200 from Gigaparts. That's awesome.
I didn't hear any answer. I might have gotten internet blocked. Anybody coming up after us? I think Kyle's every other week.
I didn't hear you say anything. I was like, man, he's not talking
very
much.
I got dropped.
Oh, let's see.
No Kyle tonight, is what Frank says.
Okay.
But I think Ken's got a good point. Hit the like button. Tell YouTube this stuff is awesome. Even though this show was kind of weird. But then the documentation was very weird.
Yeah. Drop some comments. Click the like
yeah.
button.
Tinkercad for 3D printers.
Marvin, I have used Tinkercad a little bit, and I can make squares and circles fairly well. Mostly, without swearing. I guess 3D printing might be a thing, too, for your club meetings. Because there's a lot of little dinguses and stuff you can 3D print. And I think some other ham channels have kind of rolled in some 3D printing stuff, but it's not really mainstream ham, and it's probably more complicated than FT8 to a lot of people.
So we're about 3 hours into this already, and we haven't communicated yet. So we're still going to keep doing this next week and see what we can come up with, because I actually want to know what you can do with this stuff. And then after that, I should have my Meshtastic stuff to play with. So we'll see what's coming up. Thank you, Jim, for all your help tonight. Thank you, Frank, for helping moderate in the chat. And I'm going to click the button now so we can get back to non-ham stuff, public, and do ham stuff in private. Done.